What's up, everybody? It's Omar. It is March 26, 7:53 p.m. and I want to make a video talk about my watch list for tomorrow and my trades. I took 3 trades on CRON today, 1 loss and 2 wins, and I did exceptionally well. So let's get into it. So CRON, this is what I said. So CRON wasn't on my watch list. This was my watch list for yesterday. Let me pull it up. Let's pull up the watch list. 326. This is my watch list yesterday. So I added ACB and CRON this morning, but I was looking at AMD, SEAL, CPRX, PCG, CRS, CURLF, and I think I actually probably put them. I have this like 8 chart grid, and these were the stocks that I was potentially looking at from my watch list today. And CVSI was on my watch list too. Look where it rejected, right in the next level that I mapped. You can see in the video I mapped this level. So you know, and BPTH, I think I had all these stocks with the exception of ACIU on my watch list yesterday. Now this morning, you know, I was gonna look at AMD, but what drove me to CRON was because I saw a lot of chatter on Twitter about CRON, like, you know, just being up on bullshit, and you know, like the fundamentals don't justify the price. So I had a feeling that it was going to be a big red day today. So this is what I said in the room. So you can see this was at 9:15 a.m. You can see right there it says it wasn't on my watch list, but I expect CRON to have a big red day. All right. So at 9:20 a.m. this is what I told people. If I see a pop at the open to 2026 and a rejection, I'm shorting CRON. I set an alert to remind me. So I said that before the market opened. I set my alert here, so I just literally set an alert, and really all you need to do is go to right click, hit create alert, and then it will set an alert. So I put the alert, and I have it set so that it goes to my phone. So I wasn't gonna trade today because I have a lot of work to do and everything. So I wasn't planning on trading unless this thing triggered and hit my phone. It hit my alert hit. So sure enough, the market opened. I wasn't paying attention to anything, and you can see literally the stock pre-market gapped down right to the support level that I mapped, and the stock spiked, and it spiked, and it went right to my level at 2026. All right, and once I saw it get rejected there, I went short. So I went short, and then it popped. And now why did I say 2026? Let's talk about that, right? Very simple. Support and resistance. That's it, guys. No magic science. This was why I had 2026. This was a pivot level. This is where the stock literally bounced off 2026 and went this way. So 2026 to me was a key level for me to short risking off of. That's it. It's not rocket science. It's not no magic formula. There's no indicators, none of that bullshit. So when I saw it, I told the room I went short, and the stock, at first started going in my favor. So it gapped down, and I was like, yes, this is going in my favor, fantastic. And then it went against me, and then it ripped up, and then I added to my short, I think it was like right in here, because I saw a lot of resistance right in here. So I added to my short, and then it started going down, and then it ripped. So I covered I'm trying to remember, I covered somewhere in here, like right around here. I had covered, and then what I said was, and I think I have it, I think I wrote where I covered. Let me go into the Discord. Come on, give me 1 second. So I said, if I see a pop at the open and a rejection, I'm shorting CRON. I set an alert to remind me. All right, I'm short CRON. I was patient. It reached my area. Okay. And then I went in at 2025, and then I covered, and I covered for a loss. I fought the trend. Stupid me, because yeah, it was going against me, and I just added thinking like, all right, it's gonna reverse, and it didn't. And I should have known better. I should have waited till it went my level 2076, which you see up here. So this is, and the reason why I have 2076, it's not rocket science. 2076, why? Because look, this is a key level of resistance right up here, and I think on a bigger time frame, I think I had mapped it. Let me see why exactly I had 2076. I think on the 4-hour time frame or somewhere, yeah, like right around here. I think it. Oh no, where is 2076? It's over here. So yeah, I had it mapped because I think it like bounced right around here. So I had it mapped at 2076, and it could be off by a few cents. I think this is the 2076 actually candle. I'm not too sure. It's somewhere around here. I'm trying to remember exactly why I had 2076. I think it was based off this, and it was probably meant, you know, and you know, sometimes I'm off by a few cents, but it was close to the 2076 level. So that was the level that I had mapped, and I had faith in my lines. And sure enough, I watched it. The stock went up, literally got to right before 2076. And once I saw it was like that wick coming up, I went short. I went short. I sized in pretty nicely. Let me just pull up 5 minutes. And I went short, and the stock just tanked. It dropped. I covered right into this bounce, so it broke below here. This was my, you know, support level. So right, resistance became support, and right in this bounce, this is where I covered, and I covered way too soon, as you can see, because the stock continued to go down. Now, what you don't always understand is that I'm literally trading, and I'm like hiding my screens. I'm not even supposed to be trading, so I'm under a lot of pressure when I trade. So all I did at that point was, you know, I saw that it kept tanking. People in the room was telling me that it was tanking, and I set another alert. I said, where is the support? The support that I had mapped was this 1943 level, right? Because this is where I had mapped before. This is where it bounced. So you can see this was a level that I had mapped, and I said, and the real support was here. This line is wrong, and I don't know. Maybe I said it because I did it on a 180-day time frame. Let me see where I got that from. Yeah, this is where I got that line from. That's where I got the line from. I got it from this 4-hour time frame. So, but technically, if you're being specific, this is where, as you can see, this is where it previously pivoted. So this is the real support in real time. But this on a bigger time frame, this is where my support line would be. So I set an alert, and I said, I'm not gonna pay attention to stocks. I'm done. I made my money back. I made a nice profit. I'm not gonna look at this anymore. And sure enough, I get the alert. Boom! It goes to my phone. 1943 triggered. Once I saw that, I went long. I saw that it held. It forms this higher low, and that means that more buyers are going to drive it up because, you know, they're going to risk off this. And I think I called it out in the room. I just let everybody know in the room, hey guys, I took CRON. Let's see where I said. Where is it? I know I put it. I know I wrote it in the room. I don't know. Oh, I think I gotta go to like the first page or the second page. I don't know how this works. Let's see if I can get this to go back up. Come on. I don't know what I did. I know that I put it in the room, but I just don't remember where. I would have to look through this, but I'm not gonna go crazy. But I told the room that I was gonna go long and that my price target was right here, 1984. And the reason being is because this was an area, this is a previous pivot area. So I went long, and I just held through all this, and it actually went way above it. As you can see, I could have held, I could have made a whole lot more money. But when I went long, I had set an order for it to sell right into this pivot level, because this is where, I'm sorry, right into here, right into this pivot level. I think it was right here. Wait, so we went down. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Right in here. So this was where I had it set. I already had my order set, so that once I went long, you know, because it could get up to here and then continue to tank. So I already had my order set to fill, and you know, I just held strong and got cut and got filled. And as you can see, it pulled back, formed another higher low, and then just took off. But I was happy. I did exceptionally well. That's it, guys. That's all trading has to be. Don't overcomplicate trading. Like, don't think, you know, a lot of these guys, they have all these stupid indicators. They're not necessary. You don't need them. The more stuff you put on your screen, that means that's going to take away from you. It's going to distract you, because now you're factoring in all those other things. So just work off support, resistance, volume, and price action. That's all you need. And tomorrow, this was going to be on my watch list. So For tomorrow, I have CRON on my watch list. I expect it to be volatile. I don't know which way it's gonna go. I think it's gonna give more back tomorrow. But what I'm expecting is maybe like at the open you get a little spike and it'll get rejected right into this 2026 level and then just continue to fade more and maybe break down. So I didn't map anything further than this. And what I would do is if I'm like making this technical the way I want to make it, since it pivoted here, this is where I would map the support level, and then below that I would map 1893, and then I would look on a bigger time frame to see what's the next level below that. Like if it's gonna break down from that, I already had it mapped 1736. I mean it could bounce at one of these levels, but this is the clear pivot, so it would probably be heading to that level. And that's how you trade, guys. That's you don't have to, doesn't have to be rocket science. So I think tomorrow potentially it could fade more. We'll see. It had a red, it closed red, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. All right. AMD, I did not trade this, but as you can see, it did the same thing it did the day before. Look at this. It spiked up right into it, double topped right into this key resistance level that I had mapped, 2689. Let me pull up the big chart, and then faded. I think AMD is heading back to like $8 ultimately. This stock should not be this high. And I think all of the stocks, remember the whole market is overvalued right now because companies are just buying back their stock. After Trump passed the tax, they changed the tax laws, it gave these corporations more of their money. And because really our economy isn't as good as it's advertised, it's a one big bubble that's ready to pop. The only thing that's keeping up the stock market is the companies buying back their stock. It's not new buyers investing in the stock market. They're all taking their money out because we're heading for a huge recession, potential depression. That's what I think, and a monster crash. All right. So just keep that in mind. All right. So for tomorrow, my expectation is at the morning. Look, you usually get a spike. If you notice, AMD usually spiked here. Right here quickly spikes and then fades. The next day it spiked crazy, but even on the way down, you get this quick spike at the open and then a fade, quick spike at the open, then a fade, quick spike at the open, then a fade. So tomorrow I expect it to spike and then fade some more, and then it's gonna head down probably to the next support level. First it'll retest 2531, and if it can't hold that, it'll people will start panicking, they'll get out, and it's going to head at a minimum to this 2486 level and then 2445. So look for that. All right, that's what I think is going to happen. Do I know? No, nobody knows what the fuck's going to do, the market's going to do, but that's what I'm thinking. All right, so next up, wait a minute, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Did I put the same? Yeah, sorry. All right. So next up, ALDX. Now, this is the stocks that I tell you that always has that same pattern here. Let me map this, where when you get these big runners, right? So let's look at 1 year time frame. Oops, sorry guys. Right, look what this stock always does. Every time it has a big run, it always gives it back. Big run, gives it back. Big run, gives it back. Had this big candle. Look what it had, this big candle. Right, started giving it back. So the expectation is probably going to give it back, right? Now what I guess is going to happen tomorrow, this is my guess, right? You're going to get a pop at the open. It's going to either get rejected into this level or this level, and then you can short it and you can get a couple of points on the rejection. This pattern happens again and again and again and again. I can't even tell you how many times I've talked about this. The stock will eventually head back to $7. I don't know if tomorrow's going to be the day, but it will at some point. All right. So tomorrow, just keep an eye on that. And the way I keep my discipline is, all I do is I go here and I just create an alert. To just say that you're going to say, well, Omar, how do I short this stock? I have Thinkorswim. You have Thinkorswim, you're not gonna be able to short this. E-Trade, look, so so if you're asking which Steven Dux is using, he's using TradeZero. TradeZero has 2 brokerages, offshore, and now they have a brokerage located in Brooklyn. They both have good shares. The one offshore uses Vision, which is the same broker, broker that Centerpoint uses to find their shares. And Trade Zero Brooklyn uses an array of locates. They don't use vision, they use some, but they're pretty on par. And Stephen Duck's been using them for a while. He lives in Ohio, so he probably had used some Chinese address to be able to get that offshore brokerage, over a year ago, because Trade Zero Brooklyn just opened not too long ago. So, but yeah, that's where everybody's getting their shares now to short. They have very good locates, but you got to pay for them, so that's the downside. You got to borrow those shares, so you're already down before you even place the trade, which is a lot of what these guys don't even tell you. So tomorrow, expect a pop and then a fade. That's what my expectation is. So you could go long risking off this at the open. I think it's gonna pop and then fade. So if I went long, I'm going long here, and I already have my sell order here, just to be safe. All right. So next up, all right, we talked about CRON, SEAL. So SEAL doesn't want to die. This is a stock that is uptrending. And you can see it was on my watch list. It broke 326 and then it faded. And this is why I tell you guys, don't buy the breakout. Wait for the breakout to happen, to pull back, and then take it long. This is what Warrior Trading does. And he's the type of dude that will already be in the trade, tell his room go long, sell into their subs, and then everybody gets caught holding the bag. That type of style of trading is gonna have you broke. So just be mindful of that. So I'm looking at this because it just keeps trending upwards. So this is the daily here. I don't know where this stock is heading. I don't know anything about the fundamentals. I haven't looked at any of it. But this is a stock where it does have its runs, and then it pulls back. Every time it has its spikes, it gives it back. Has a spike, give it back. Has a spike, give it back. And it doesn't want to go back to that 130 level. So maybe slowly it's gonna grind up. I don't know. But from a technical standpoint, I would look to see how it reacts. So like a spike into this level right here, this 315 level, and I'd be looking to see, is it going to hold it, or is it going to fade and start heading back down? Or if it breaks out, maybe finally it's going to break that 326 level, hold, and then start running. But remember, now that 338 is the new resistance level, you got to be careful. All right, and then you got to look what's above. So it's just something I'll keep an eye out on. All right, next up is DCAR. So DCAR, the reason why I have this on my watch list is because I had this nice move up. DropCar Inc. I don't know anything about the company, but it has some nice channels here. So what I would be looking to see is, all right, what's gonna happen at the open? Is it gonna break this out and go to the next resistance level above? So all I did was look to see what the next resistance level above was. The next resistance level above is right here, the 751. So it could potentially spike and give it back. Now this stock has done this before where it spiked, but this had no volume on this day. Generally doesn't have volume, but it got a lot of volume today. So 8 million shares. I don't know the news about the stock. You can look to see, maybe it has good fundamentals. I don't know. More than likely it's some dog shit company. But you can watch this, see how it's going to react. If it rejects this, look for a panic and then a potential dip buy. So to keep an eye out on that. But if it breaks 684, pulls back and holds, then take it long. All right, you got a lot of range between 684 and the next level above, so this could potentially be a good trade, a good long for tomorrow. We'll see what happens. All right, next up, ATOS. I just put this on the watch list. This is a stock that always, like, every now and then finds its way. They always have some sort of offering. It spikes and then it fades. So it had this big gap up and then it kind of faded down. So tomorrow, what I would be looking to see is it going to spike right into this 414 level, get rejected, and come all the way back down and retest this 362, 358 area for potential short that you could take. But if it held 413, you can potentially take it long. But there's all these bag holders here, so it would need a lot of volume for it to break through and make a new high. But just keep an eye on it. I don't think it will. I think it's a piece of shit and it's gonna come back down. But you never know with these stocks, so just keep an eye out on it. All right, so next up, GSVC. I know nothing about this company. I just know that it looks like it's on its way to potentially test its yearly high of 839. Let me pull up the big chart. Give me let's see. All right, yeah, so it's 839, so you got to be mindful of that. It could potentially touch that and then just tank. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. But if you watch the stock, like let's say it just consolidates before the open, maybe at the open it pulls back and it tests one of these previous support levels, and then you can just dip by it for a nice little bounce. Or maybe it breaks out, pulls back, holds, and then you can take it long. We'll see. And if it does, then you definitely want to look and see what the next level above that 839 is. And I do not know. So what I would do is then, I go back maybe like 5 years. Sometimes you go back 10 years. But if you go back 5 years, and you can see there's a lot of resistance above that 839, even though there's not a lot of volume in these candles, but it's gonna be hard to break it. So I think tomorrow, if it tests this, it's gonna be a nice fade. That's my guess. Tomorrow it'll pull back nice, so you can take a nice short on it, and it's easy to borrow. So I think any broker, even Thinkorswim, will have the shares to short. So that's my guess. We'll see what happens tomorrow. All right, CTRM now. So somebody on Twitter, I think they were trying to troll me when I said, look for sympathy plays of Hunt. And people were thinking, oh, it's TRY, it's all these other stocks. And no, TRY is a wheat stock. It's not a maritime stock. So Hunt, I don't know what caused it to move today. I looked at it on Yahoo Finance. This is the stock Hunt Maritime. And it had some sort of news. Let's see. Let me type it in again. HUNT. All right. So yeah, here it goes. So Hunt Maritime Acquisition Corp delivered a better return on investment than the industry. Here's why. So it's a bullshit press release. Yeah, Tuesday traded day after rocket after Marshall Islands based purpose acquisition company didn't release any news last week. So this is some bullshit pump and dump. So it's a maritime company, right? So a lot of people talk about sympathy plays, right? So this stock, stay the fuck away from it. I know William Carriman tried to short this today. He's out of his mind. I don't know why he would even think to try to do that. And he lost like 16 grand. I appreciate his transparency though. At least he kept it real and showed it, Now this stock, is it going back to $18? Hell yeah. But is it happening tomorrow? Who knows? So I would stay away from this. This stock can go to $300 or $400. Who knows where the fuck this thing's gonna go? But when they talk about sympathies, right? These other stocks that I have here, CTRM is a maritime stock. Just like, let me go back to Hunt just to show you. And let me go to where it says analyze. And oh, it doesn't say here. What does it say? Maritime. So if I put right maritime, right? And if I type CTRM, oops, I had it wrong. There it goes. CTRM. Maritime. See? Stocks in the same sector. That is a sympathy. So Hunt is the main play, right? And CTRM is a sympathy, meaning it's in the same sector, and the reason why it moved is because Hunt moved. So tomorrow, if Hunt goes to 300, expect CTRM to go to, break 19 potentially and run. Go from 19 to God knows where. And I don't know. I would have to look to see. This is let's see where we have 5 years here. This stock, I have nothing. Yeah, 19. So if it breaks 19, after that is its all-time high. Who the fuck knows where this stock is gonna go? So map 19 just in case. And then you have other stocks. GLBS. GLBS is a maritime stock. I don't need to go pull it, but it's a maritime stock. Trust me. It says this is what this stands for. And look what it did. It ripped. Why? Because Hunt moved. So if Hunt continues to move tomorrow, expect GBLS to move with it. All right. GBLS has hit a high of 1190 on momentum. So tomorrow it could potentially rip. All right. Now, what's great about these stocks is like everybody's going to be hoping that Hunt goes to 300 because all these stocks are going to go much higher. And guess what happens when Hunt dies? All these stocks die with it. So you can go short. All right. You can short these stocks when Hunt dies, and you can make a shit ton. I know I am. So so that's what you're looking at. So we'll see what happens tomorrow with Hunt. Okay. And then another stock in that same maritime sector, Ship. So Ship is up because Hunt is up, and all these other stocks on the sector is up. So Ship is a stock that was as high as 1635. It didn't get a ton of volume today, but tomorrow it could potentially get a lot of volume. So tomorrow, all the guys that can't afford the bigger stocks, if they see Hunt moving and all these stocks are moving, SHIP is going to move tomorrow with it. All right. And there's a lot of other plays I could put on this watch list. There's a lot of opportunity. It's just that it just, it's too time consuming. And who the hell can trade all these stocks, right? So honestly, tomorrow, my #1 watch is probably going to be CRON again, to be quite honest with you. But we'll see what moves pre-market. It could be SHIP, it could be one of these things. We'll see. That's why you watch the stock. So remember, map those levels, like, subscribe, and share. Leave some comments and let me know what you think. All right, folks, have a